Look, man. So I want to kind of transition here to one of the biggest freaks of natures I've ever seen in sports, not even just baseball. It's a shame that people aren't talking about this enough. I know MLB is really bad at marketing, and this is just like the pinnacle of bad marketing for a sport. Something that hasn't been done since everyone knows who he is. Babe Ruth. 100 years later, everyone knows who Babe Ruth is. Come on. I understand baseball was a different sport back then, sort of. But Shohei Ohtani, man, this guy is different, a different breed. I've never seen anything like it, at least in my lifetime. I mean, I guess Babe Ruth back then, people saw that, but I mean, they didn't have TVs back then, so did they really see it? Probably not. Yankees fans saw it. If you were visiting, whatever. This guy currently, look, he had a bad outing last time out. He had like a 2.38 ERA. Had a one bad outing. Now he has a 3.6 ERA, which is still pretty good considering you're leading the not just the American League, the majors in home runs. The majors, 28 home runs at this point. You're on pace for, almost getting to Roger Maris territory. Maybe he'll be the new home run king, and people will say, "Oh, well, McGuire and Sosa use steroids." And Shohei, imagine that. Actually, imagine if Shohei Ohtani managed to like get close to like Roger Maris.
Well, yeah, it would be great, and it would be
eventually people are going to pay attention at that point, right? You think?
Oh, it'd be great for baseball because remember when Ichiro was getting to the point where he was going to pass Pete Rose, and he was talking about his hits in the whatever league, the Nippon League, I think, in Japan. Right. So they were trying to tally up all those hits, and people were like, "Well, does it count? Does it not?" And that was a whole big argument, which was an interesting argument. You know,
right?
I think if you're the MLB, you just can't count it. It is what it is. But that debate was good. So if you're getting something like that, where now you've got a foreign guy that's coming over, he's doing all of this great dynamic stuff, it's a great conversation for baseball. It's like, yeah, how does he compare to all of these other previous guys that we're using? He's not. Like it livens up the game in a really good way.
The thing about Ichiro is, when he came over in 2001, the game was in a different spot. Like baseball was popular. People didn't know about the steroids back then. Speculation. People knew about it, but people
didn't want to think about it.
Right. But regardless, steroids or not, the game was popular. You had your personalities. People were coming out to the ballpark to see guys. When Ichiro came over, like instantly, people already knew who he was. I mean, now, yes, he had to be a good player, and he proved that. I mean, he won an MVP, the rookie of the year, pretty much same year. Incredible. But the problem is, like, only baseball fans know who Shohei Ohtani is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think that maybe if he gets on pace to break Roger Maris's record, or not record technically, but you think people would tune in. But I thought people would be tuning in by now. I thought it'd be like, oh my God, this guy's throwing 100, and he has one of the best pitches in baseball. His splitter next to Kevin Gausman, like devastating, incredible. On top of like he doesn't just hit home runs, dude. He hits bombs. Like he hits the ball extremely hard. It just like him, Harper. Like who else can I name out there? Like Giancarlo Stanton. They just sound different off the bat. You can go to a Shohei Ohtani home run and just look up on YouTube. It just sounds different, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the fact that people besides outside of baseball don't really know who he is. It's really aggravating as a baseball fan because baseball has had their whole thing with bad marketing for years now, since probably the past decade. But the fact that they can't market this guy that's doing what he's doing, I get baseball can be a little boring, but like you got to market it, man. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
and he has a personality too. I know he doesn't speak English, but he's a funny guy. He's big, like he's
got all the qualities. He's got all the qualities for sure. And it's for him, it's going to be health is the big thing. I think that because there was momentum when he first came over. Right. It was a curiosity. Like people were tuning in for that. And so now that he's been around for a little bit and he's had injuries and all, it's just taking a little bit of the shine off. So it gets to a point where, yes, if he continues to do this, if he finishes the season in the top 3 for home runs, now he's going to be a big name. Like they will talk about him more. And
That's
think
a good point.
The curiosity factor of having a guy like that, even if I don't watch baseball, if I'm somebody that just generally doesn't care about baseball, if I hear about a guy that is legitimately pitching well and hitting home runs, even if I'm not watching the games all the time, just being aware that he exists.
Right. Like, that's the whole thing.
He's getting there, like he is going to get there. I think enough sports fans know who Ohtani is.
You think so? Really?
I think enough do. I think because ESPN, for example, they covered him. Like,
yeah, I saw that. They did have a segment, but one segment.
But it's one segment. But that's
the first take is a lot. I agree. I agree.
That's a good thing, is getting him on those shows and talking about him and what he's doing. Like, people now, the same way me and you were doing it, they're saying, yeah, look at his ERA, look at what he's doing. Like, there's that group Secret Base.
Of course.
Yeah.
SB Nation.
Yeah, they're great.
Fantastic.
And they put out a graphic the other day, and it was home runs in the league and his ERA, and it was one big graphic, and that got a good bit of traction. So, like, people are starting to pick up on this because as a sports fan, you love that. Like, imagine, I mean, if the NFL had a guy, for example, everybody knows who Taysom Hill is. Whether you think he's good or not, everyone knows who he is. Like, that's a notable player. He's playing all over the place. So if you had a guy that was playing offense and defense in the NFL, like, regularly, could you imagine how nuts that would be? You know? So
yeah, I agree.
People like that curiosity factor. They like that versatility factor. It's just him staying healthy and continuing to playing well. Like, if he does this through the whole season, now you've got real momentum. But he's got to do it through the whole season.
I agree. I think if you get past I think he's in the home run derby, if I'm not mistaken.
Good. Yeah. They should be paying him all the money in the world. It's a shame that Tatis isn't in. Right.
And it's same of Vladdy Jr., who he's insane too. He's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
He's not in it either. I mean, I think him and Alonso had that at Cleveland a couple years ago where they had a incredible derby. He's not going to participate in it. He's already been in it, so you give the pass. But it's going to be fun with Ohtani, man. It's going to be so fun.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah. I mean, they got to have him in there. Yeah, like that's the kind of stuff that they need. And let's say he wins the home run derby. Great.
Yeah.
Great for baseball.
Right. And I think that'll give him some momentum. If he can get past the All-Star break, stay healthy into like August, I think people will pick up on it a little bit. Problem is, though, his team's not so great. They are going to get Trout back eventually.
Yeah,
they are. But, I thought what's crazy, man? I thought the Angels were going to be good. I don't know how much you know, but I thought the Angels were going to be a decent team this year. And one guy who was good for a while with the Nationals, got a big contract with the Angels, Anthony Rendon, hasn't been very good. He's been underwhelming. And I don't want to say it's a thing of like, oh, well, he gets over. But I mean, it's not even like he had he was hitting in like a great lineup with the Nationals. So he was a good hitter.
Yeah,
he was one of their big guys over there. He just hasn't been good in LA. Maybe he got that money and he just decided, I'm not going to work hard anymore. I don't know. But the whole thing is Rendon hasn't been good. That might be a contributor why they haven't been great. But they have had Jared Walsh, who's been incredible. They don't really have pitching. There are some guys that they picked up over in the offseason that didn't have a ton of upside, but we thought that might help them. And it hasn't helped.
Life with the Angels, man. Life with the Angels. Always underwhelming.
Yeah. So, Trout's got his money there, but who knows what's going to happen. But, I think a lot of us, I think the consensual thing with baseball fans and just a lot of people out there, we're rooting for the Angels because that's good for baseball. If, Ohtani and Trout can be on bigger stages, that's huge.
Yeah.
But going back to the Ohtani thing, is that like, okay, like, even if into August he's still healthy, it would just help if the team was better and they were a contender. You got the Athletics and the Astros, unfortunately, who have been just really good, and they've been running that division this year and past years. So I think that's going to be, an unfortunate thing, but maybe that's a thing. Ohtani might be on pace to get in Roger Maris territory.
Yeah, finish the season strong, man. I mean, seriously, it will do wonders for him, for the sport, for everybody, and also just the value of growing the game in Japan. I mean, really, great. Get more Japanese guys.
Yeah, and what's funny though? Like, Japanese people know who he is, and they tune into Angels games and they watch them. So
good.
Yeah. Oh no, good. It's definitely a thing. And over in Asia, Japan, baseball is actually pretty big over there. So which is good. It's funny. I heard this on Effectively Wild, the Fangraphs podcast.
Okay.
They talked about this. This probably been like a month ago, but the whole Ohtani, everyone's going crazy over Ohtani. They have someone, I don't know if it's still happening right now. They have a camera on Ohtani right now that tracks like everything, that just they have a camera that's on him all the time. How would you feel about that? If you had a camera on you all the time, Vince?
It kind of feels like
right now
it's getting that way anyway, because there is a camera on us right now.
Camera.
But like, you ever go like recently, if you go into a Walmart and you're going to check out, like they'll have a shot that covers that whole like self-checkout area.
Yeah.
And they'll highlight your head in yellow and stuff as you're walking around. Like it is trippy, crazy, weird stuff. So
government.
On some level, I'm like, I guess this is just the world we live in now. So maybe and also if a camera was tracking me, far less appealing. Like I think the fan graphs of me are like not very good. They're like, wow, this guy drinks at a very fast rate. You know, like that's my big thing. Like, and it's not just booze, although I can put whiskey down quite quickly, but like just a glass of water. Like I'll sit down in a restaurant and they'll pour it and then it's gone. And I'll be like, yeah, can I have another one? Like before they even come back for the appetizer. I don't know.
Thirsty guy?
I guess I'm a thirsty guy, and I'm just like a dog. You know, like you ever seen a dog that's just eaten so much food that eventually it just eats until it's too full and it'll just puke like 20 minutes later? I can be that sometimes. Like I'm just an
my
idiot.
dog doesn't do that, but
good.
Well, you know,
your dog is smarter than me.
Miles is a smart guy. He's almost he's a smart guy.
Good for him.
Foxhound, by the way.
Yeah.
But you know, I compare to you more. You ever seen the 13th? Did you watch Disney Channel growing up?
13th year?
Do you remember that movie?
Wait, I'm trying to think of. Is that the one where he becomes a mermaid?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
I'm thinking about him drinking at the water fountain, where he would just be in middle school, right? He was 13. He would get up to the water fountain and he would just drink it for like he'd be sitting there for like an hour.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Everybody else behind him in line are just like, dude, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah,
like, what's going on?
My ounces per minute off the chart.
Yeah, so you're a mermaid.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah,
I was on the swim team in like 5th grade, so there you go. I'm a mermaid.
Yeah, you're a mermaid. That was 13th year.